This month on Quest, the show's gone to the dogs. It all happened a long time ago. When we humans dropped off the evolutionary tree, there was a cold, wet nose and a wagging tail waiting for us. Dogs have been by our side ever since. And despite all our evolving technology, we still use them in so many important ways. Whatever the usefulness of our four-legged friends, above all, this programme is about that companionship, the special bond that seems to never go away. Join me for my quest with man's best friend. Coming up, Model Mutts, the eccentric, wacky world of the show dog. The singer Joss Stone on why her dogs are simply irreplaceable in her life. We've got dogs in the movies, and I'm on set with Richard Gere and his doggy co-star. And I join the rescue dogs of the Red Cross in Panama, Central America. Los Angeles, the city of angels. Spend a little time here and you soon realise it is also the city of dogs. Every shape, size and breed you can imagine. Say the phrase, a dog's life, and most people think you mean a wretched existence. But my, how times have changed. Americans will spend an estimated $41 billion a year on their pets. And much of that goes on dogs. They sleep in our beds, they eat our food, they even wear our clothes. As owners become increasingly demanding consumers, the pet industry is following on right behind. From boutiques to doggy bakeries, every whim of the pampered pooch is well and truly taken care of. So when it comes to people and their dogs in LA, love is most definitely in the air. There is, however, a flip side to this canine culture. Not every dog finds itself living in the lap of luxury. At the farmers' market, the charity New Leash on Life is holding an open adoption, where the public are encouraged to take abandoned or abused dogs and give them a good home. Let's have a look at Marley.
If you want to touch him, I can have you touch him here, but I'll have to hold his face
Why is
just
that?
in case. He might have been abused by a man, is what we think. Unfortunately, it's kind of a common affliction these dogs receive.
New Leash on Life Animal Rescue is a small non-profit organization which works with a lot of dedicated volunteers, and our job is to educate the public about animals and also rescue, rehabilitate, and adopt these animals. When I go to shelter, dogs, they don't have a choice because they, based on the number of the space available through the shelter system, they would get killed or euthanized. So we go to shelters, we want to give those animals the second chance.
The New Leash on Life headquarters is on a ranch in the Santa Clarita Valley. Here is a safe haven for dogs that might otherwise have been put down because they are injured or simply hard to place because they don't conform to the well-bred stereotype. My introduction to the doghouse comes courtesy of the actress Alison Janney, formerly of the TV hit series The West Wing.
Steal a lot of thunder away from the campaign for an education plan that'll die before it hits the floor of the House.
Somebody like yourself comes out as a spokesperson or promoting one way or the other for this sort of cause. Why do you think we want that, do you think, at this stage?
I don't know if we want it, but it's something, you know, it brings recognition to I like to give recognition to Bobby's, to New Leash on Life, and if my celebrity can do that, then I'm happy to do it.
Your involvement in, if you like, rescue, shelter, distressed dogs, how much of an interest you take in it?
Well, I grew up with dogs my whole life. I was just born a dog person. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for dogs, and they bring me so much joy, and I just love to love dogs. And and Bobby, he trained both of my dogs that I had, and I just love the fact that he will go into shelters and rescue the dogs that nobody else wants, like Daisy here, who has one blind eye, and he takes the ones that that are the least likely to get picked, and he takes them and rescues them and rehabilitates them. And I just think, I mean, I want to do so much for these little creatures because I think they do so much for us.
Many of the dogs that end up here are visibly shaken by their experiences. Their behavior reflects a sadness that comes from a troubled past and a lack of human affection. Here, though, they're on a road to recovery.
I had to get used to the idea of rescuing a dog because I always thought, well, I grew up with golden retrievers and Springer Spaniels and German Shorthairs, and but then I fell in love with my first rescue dog, and I will never go back. I couldn't be happier to give a dog a home that wouldn't have one otherwise. And they make great dogs. For some reason, they seem to know that you're saving them from a situation, and they love you more.
Back at the farmer's market, and the dogs are strutting their stuff, doing their best to look cute to potential owners. So far, no takers.
We have 3 dogs that were partly rescued. So we have lots of dogs at home, but not room for another one, unfortunately.
Not room for another one. So
yeah, we'd love to, but that's why we have to donate instead and just try to support the cause.
Walking through the shelter, average we have over 50 animals looking for a home. Hardest decision is to choose which one we want. Obviously, we work with a situation of which dog really needs a home. So if there are dogs, they're not feeling good, that's the first one will be killed. So we take that animals, take them to the hospitals, and we work with them and we bring them to adoption program.
what's the difference between somebody looking for a dog themselves going to the shelter and choosing that dog versus them coming to you?
When we rescue animals from the shelters, they will be our dog for the rest of their life. We have a responsibility to that companion animals. So if things doesn't work out, they always can bring them back to us. Right. If they take it from shelter and it doesn't work out, take them back to the shelters, 99% that dog get euthanized based on shelter look at it as this is not a good dog, it's been dropped back, without knowing maybe the home wasn't right for that dog.
There's been plenty of people sniffing around, much oohing and ahhing, but alas, all of the dogs will be back at the ranch tonight. Growing up, there were always dogs in the family house. If I'm honest, I'd like one now. I'm just not home enough to take care of one. The next morning, I'm back at the ranch. I think that this dog needs to be top dog for the day. Belle is just 1 year old. She's a mixed pit bull breed. Belle was abandoned and left at the shelter because her owner was no longer allowed to keep that breed of dog in his apartment. Pit bulls and their relatives have a poor reputation. Someone forgot to tell Belle, because you'd be hard-pressed to meet a more docile, lovable dog. There we go. We're going on a day out. If I can't adopt with New Leash on Life, I could at least do something to brighten up a dog's day. It would also be a chance to make a new friend. It's been many years since I've had a dog of my own. Later in the show, I'm determined Belle will be top dog of the day. She takes in the delights of West Hollywood and preparing for disaster in Panama with the rescue dogs of the Red Cross.